Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Monday, August 8th, 2022. Today I'm going to recap the weekend's Major League Baseball, WNBA, and Major League Soccer games. Look ahead to today's games in each sport. I think it's just baseball today, but I'm not 100% sure. We'll go over the results from the Wyndham Championship. We'll go over the NASCAR results from the weekend from Michigan. MLB Power Rankings. We haven't done those since before the trade deadline. News and notes and best bet. We'll start with Major League Baseball. We'll start with Friday and we'll work our way to Sunday. Cubs over the Marlins 2-1. Orioles over the Pirates 1-0. Phillies over the Nats 7-2. Braves over the Mets 9-6. Astros over the Guardians 9-3. Rays over the Tigers 5-3. White Sox over the Rangers 2-1. Red Sox over the Royals 7-4. Brewers over the Reds 5-1. Twins over the Blue Jays 6-5 in 10 innings on a walk-off fielder's choice by Tim Beckham. Where'd we leave off? Cardinals over the Yankees 4-3. D-backs over the Rockies 6-5. Angels over the Mariners 4-3 in 10. And the Dodgers in their first home game since the passing of Vin Scully defeat the Dodgers by a score of 8-1 as best bet. That's a bad beat at the end to go from a winner to a loser. Doubleheader game 1, Mets over the Braves 8-5. Cubs over the Marlins 4-0. Doubleheader game 1, Mariners over the Angels 2-1. Orioles over the Pirates 6-3. Phils over the Nats 11-5. Guardians over the Astros 4-1. Tigers over the Rays 9-1. Rangers over the White Sox 8-0. Giants over the A's 7-3. Doubleheader game 2, Mets over the Braves 6-2. Royals over the Red Sox 5-4 on a walk-off homer by Nick Pratto. Twins over the Blue Jays 7-3. Reds over the Brewers 7-5. Cards over the Yankees 1-0. Rockies over the D-backs 3-2. Dodgers over the Padres 8-3. Doubleheader game 2. Angels over the Mariners 7-1. Sunday, Guardians over the Astros 1-0. Guardians 56-52. Houston 70-40. Pirates over the Orioles 8-1. Pirates 44-64. Baltimore 56-52. Phillies over the Nationals 13-1. Phillies 16-48. Washington 36-74. Rays over the Tigers 7-0. Rays 58-50. Detroit 43-67. Royals over the Red Sox 13-5. Royals 44-65. Boston 54-56. Reds over the Brewers 42-10. Cincy 44-63. Milwaukee 53-50. Blue Jays over the Twins 3-2-10. Toronto 16-48. Minnesota 57-51. Cards over the Yanks 12-9. Cards 16-48. And the Yanks 70-39. Yanks have lost 5 straight. Marlins over the Cubs 3-0. Marlins 49-51. Chicago 43-64. White Sox over the Rangers 8-2. White Sox 55-53. Texas 48-60. Giants over the Athletics 6-4. Giants 53-55. Oakland 41-68. Mariners over Angels 6-3. Mariners 59-51. LA 46-63. Mets over the Braves 5-2 as they complete a huge series win 4 of 5. Mets are 70-39. Atlanta 64-46. Diamondbacks over the Rockies 6-4. The D-backs are 48-59. Colorado 48-63. And the Dodgers over the Padres 4-0 to complete the 3-game sweep. LA 75-33, best record in baseball now. And San Diego 61-50. The Dodgers will probably finish with the best record in baseball. That's not a hyperbole. That's probably going to happen. Not many games today in baseball. Only 7. 7 o'clock, you have the Blue Jays at the Orioles. You have Yusei Kikuchi and Jordan Lyles. Toronto minus 144, Baltimore plus 122, over under 9.5, overs minus 102, unders minus 120. Blue Jays minus 1.5 is plus 112, Orioles plus 1.5 is minus 134. I do like the Orioles tonight to win outright. They're 47.1% according to ESPN Analytics. Plus 122 is a decent number with that percentage, so I'm going with Baltimore. Reds Mets. Justin Dunn making his Reds debut against Chris Bassett. Mets minus 320, Reds plus 260, over on the 9, overs minus 106, unders minus 114. Reds plus 1.5 is plus 128, Mets minus 1.5 is minus 154. Justin Dunn, former Met prospect, goes over to the Reds in the Castillo trade. Bassett, it's been decent, but kind of slumping. I like the over. 8 o'clock, Nationals, Cubs. Anibal Sanchez and Keegan Thompson. Cubs minus 190, Nats plus 160, over under 7.5, overs minus 112, unders minus 108. Nats plus 1.5 is minus 148, Cubs minus 1.5 is plus 116. Geez, the over is a great pick. Sanchez has been terrible. Keegan Thompson's been okay, but I don't trust the Cubs bullpen after trading away David Robertson or Scott Efros. 9:30 of the Angels at the Athletics. Jose Suarez and Cole Irvin. Oakland minus 124, Angels plus 106, over under 7, overs minus 120, unders minus 102. Angels plus 1.5 is minus 205, A's minus 1.5 is plus 168. I'm going to go with the Athletics first half run line, minus a half at plus 116. Pirates, Diamondbacks. Tyler Beede and Zach Gallen. Diamondbacks minus 245, Pirates 2-1, over under 8, minus 110 each way. Pirates plus 1.5 is plus 102, D-backs minus 1.5 is minus 122. So, Vegas agrees with ESPN Analytics. But the Diamondbacks really shouldn't be this big of a favorite against anybody. I think that Tyler Bede's actually been okay for Pittsburgh this year. But I like the under in this game. I think Allen's going to pitch great. Giants, Padres, Alex Wood and Blake Snell. Padres minus 184, Giants plus 154, over under 7.5, overs minus 120, unders minus 102. Giants plus 1.5 is minus 134, Padres minus 1.5 is plus 112. For this one, I'm going to go with the first half over 4.5 at plus 116. I don't think either Snell or Alex would have been great this year per se, but I like the first half over. And last but not least, 10 o'clock, you have the Yankees at the Mariners. Jamison Tyone and Logan Gilbert. Yankees minus 118, Mariners even money, over under 7.5, overs minus 114, unders minus 106. Yanks minus 1.5 is plus 146, Mariners plus 1.5 is minus 176. This line's are just about correct according to ESPN Analytics. On the surface, you might think that the Mariners might be favored because of the Yankees slide. But Vegas and ESPN Analytics know more than we do. But I absolutely love the over. Jamison Tyone's been awful lately, and Logan Gilbert did not pitch well against the Yankees last time. So I like over 7.5 at minus 114. I think both offenses might do this by themselves. I feel like this is probably like an 8-6 Yankees win, as the losing streak will finally come to an end. So I like the over. All right, WNBA. We'll go over the games from the weekend. Some interesting subplots to discuss as well. Friday, Dream over the Sparks, 88-86. The Dream are 14-18. LA's 12-20. Sky over the Mystics, 93-83. The Sky 24-8. Washington 20-13. Saturday, Wings over the Fever, 95-91 in overtime. The Wings 16-16, 55-29. Mercury over the Liberty, 76-62. The Mercury are 14-19. Liberty 13-19. And Sunday, Sky over the Sun, 94-91. Sky 25-8. Connecticut 22-11. Sparks over the Mystics, 79-76. The Sparks, 13-20. Washington, 2014. Aces over the Storm, 89-81. And Sue Bird's final regular season home game. Las Vegas, 23-10. Seattle, 2013. And the Lynx over the Dream, 81-71. The Lynx, 13-20. And Atlanta's 14-19. We do have a game today. I was wrong. 8 o'clock NBA TV of the Liberty at the Wings. We have one team eliminated from postseason contention. The Liberty are a half game back. LA and Mini are a full game back of Phoenix and Atlanta for 7 and 8. Indiana eliminated from playoff contention. So this is a big game. Dallas is 6, so they're safe. So you had 5 teams that have clinched: Chicago, Vegas, Connecticut, Seattle, Washington. So big game, obviously, tonight between Dallas and the Liberty. Dallas is favored by 3.5, totals 160.5. On the surface, you might think that's a low number, but the Liberty need this game if they want to make the postseason. So I'm taking them plus 3.5, and I think they're going to win outright. Best player in the forecourt could be Sabrina Ionescu. So Liberty 3.5 and plus 146 to win outright. So I'm going to take the Liberty here tonight. All right, Major League Soccer. We'll go over the weekend slate. Maybe we do have games today. No, we don't. We have the All-Star game on Wednesday. Friday, Vancouver over Houston 2-1. Saturday, Atlanta over Seattle 2-1. Chicago over Charlotte 3-2. CF Montreal Miami 2-2 draw. Columbus over NYCFC 3-2. DC Red Bulls 0-0 draw. Cincy over Philadelphia 3-1. So Philadelphia's winning streak comes to an end. New England over Orlando 3-0. Toronto over Nashville 4-3. KC over LA Galaxy 4-2. Austin San Jose 3-3 draw. Colorado over Minnesota 4-3. LAFC over Salt Lake 4-1. So LAFC still has a winning streak going. Portland Dallas 1-1 draw. So the All-Star game is Wednesday. The MLS All-Stars against the Liga MX All-Stars. So we'll preview and pick that game on the Wednesday podcast. All right, golf. We'll go over the results from the Wyndham Championship. And your winner with a score of 20 under, Joo Hyung Kim. Tied for second with 15 under, Sun Jae Im and John Ha. Fourth with 14 under, Benjamin Griffin. Tied for fifth with 13 under, Taylor Moore, Ryan Henley, and Max McGreevy. Tied for eighth with 11 under, Anirban Lahiri, Tyrell Hatton, Chasen Hadley, Cam Piercy, and Brandon Wu. Tied for 13th with 10 under, Stefan Yeager, Richie Wierenski, Kiradek for Barnett, Aaron Weiss, Davis Riley, Alex Smalley, Taylor Pendrith, and Scott Stallings. Tied for 21st with 9 under, Doc Redmond, JT Potson, Will Zalatoris, Russell Knox, Corey Connors, and Ryan Moore. Tied for 27th with 8 under, Brian Stewart, Scott Piercy, David Lipsky, Peter Malnati, Kevin Tway, Stuart Sink, Brett Horschel, Adam Putnam, and Callum Tarrant. Andrew Putnam, my bad. Tied for 36th with 7 under, Scott Brown, Zach Johnson, Brendan Ton, Harry Higgs, Patrick Rogers, Vincent Taylor, Robert Streb, Sodi Kodiara, Matthew Neesmith, Justin Lauer, and Yannick Paul. Tied for 47th with 6 under, Chester V, Martin Laird, Bo Hawk, Henrik Norlander, Lucas Hodges, Christian Ziedenhout, and James Hahn. Tied for 54th with 5 under, my pick of Justin Rose, Lucas Donald, Keith Mitchell, Chris Goddard, Ben Coles, Kelly Kraft, and Lucas Clover. Tied for 61st with 4 under, Mark Hubbard, Sam Ryder, Rory Sabatini, Ken Cooley, Michael Giljic, Chris Stroud, and Brett Druitt. Tied for 68th with 3 under, Charlie Hoffman, Matt Trainer, and Joseph Burnett. Tied for 71st with 2 under, Brian Harmon, Aaron Ray, Kramer Hickok, and Jonathan Bird. 75th at 1 under, you had Jared Wolf. Tied for 76th at even, Adam Scott and Blake Bashea. Notables, tied for 78th with 1 over, Adam Svensson and Rafa Barabeo. Tied for 81st with 3 over, Nate Taylor and Joel Dahman. Tied for 83rd with 4 over, Jason Duffner, and Shane Lowry. Among those cut, Kevin Strillman, Kevin Chappell, Tyler Duncan, Patton Gazier, Harold Varner III, Sebastian Munoz, Ricky Fowler, Matt Wallace, Taylor Gainey, Doug Gibb, Hank Lebioda, Ben Martin, Bryce Garnett, Dolly Vanderwall, Austin Smotherman, Joaquin Herman, William McGirt, Grayson Sigg, Cam Thompson, Seth Reeves, Vincent Whaley, Adam Shank, Camilo Vegas, Cam Champ, Roger Sloan, Andrew Landry, Matthias Schwab, J.J. Spawn, Nate Hardy, Harry English, Dylan McCarthy, Gary Kigo, Davis Love III, Nate Watney, Mackenzie Hughes, Paul Bargin, Bo Van Pelt, Wesley Bryan, Sepp Straka, and then withdrawing, a lot of withdrawals, Webb Simpson, Kevin Kisner, Brandon Hagee, Brandon Gay, Hayden Buckley, Saiwoo Kim, Chungsun Pong, Jason Day, and Adam Long. Next tournament is the Northern Trust. Wednesday's podcast, we will pick a winner. Now move on to NASCAR. The results from Michigan. We'll start with Xfinity. And your winner was Ty Gibbs, second. Justin Allgaier, third. Noah Gragson, fourth. Brendan Jones, fifth. Austin Hill, sixth. Josh Berry, seventh. AJ Allmendinger, eighth. Daniel Hemrick, ninth. Riley Herbst, 10th. Landon Castle, the rest. Sheldon Creed, Sammy Smith, Brendan Brown, Anthony Alfredo, Ryan Sieg, Kyle Weatherman, Myatt Snyder, Kaz Gralla, John Hunter Nemechek, J.J. Yealy, Kyle Sieg, Jeb Burton, Joe Graff Jr., Mason Massey, Patrick Emmerling, Alex Labb, where'd I leave off? Okay, 27th we left off. Ryan Ellis, Josh Belicki, Ryan Vargas, Bailey Curry, Jeremy Clements, Blaine Perkins, Sam Meyer, Dylan Bassett, David Starr, Josh Williams, CJ McLaughlin, and Matt Mills. All right, now we'll move over to the Cup Series from Michigan. Your winner, Kevin Harvick. A big win for Kevin Harvick. Good for him. Second, Bubba Wallace. Good for him. Third, Denny Hamlin. Fourth, Joey Logano. Fifth, Ryan Blaney. Sixth, Martin Truex Jr. Seventh, Kyle Larson. Eighth, Eric Jones. Ninth, Alec Bowman. 10th, Ty Gibbs. The rest, Chase Elliott, William Byron, Austin Dillon, Ty Dillon, Brad Keselowski, Chris Buescher, Justin Haley, Austin Hill, Corey LaJoie, Chase Briscoe, Josh Belicki, Cody Ware, B.J. McLeod, Ross Chaston, Daniel Suarez, Chris Bell, Todd Gilliland, Michael McDowell, Tyler Reddick, Noah Gragson, Cole Custer, Harrison Burton, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Eric Almirola, J.J. Yealy, Kurt Busch, and Austin Cindric. All right, next week is Richmond. Xfinity's off. It says Truck and Cup from Richmond. And then Xfinity resumes on the 20th from the Glen. All right, now we'll move on to MLB Power Rankings. We haven't done these since before the trade deadline. So I'm going to go from 30 to 1 and talk about every team a little bit. 30 to Washington Nationals. They're 30. They trade Juan Soto and Josh Bell. And now they're just stuck. 29, the Oakland Athletics. Worst team in the American League. They're just awful. Number 28, the Detroit Tigers. Very disappointing year for them after many thought this was the surprise team in the American League coming into the year. 27, the Chicago Cubs. I hated what they did at the trade deadline. I made that clear on this podcast. And they're going to have some regrets. 26, the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pirates are an interesting team. That's a team that I think could be competitive next year. But they're still not there. 25, the Kansas City Royals. Their pitching needs to, still come together in my mind. you see glimpses of their young pitching, but they really don't break through as a whole, as a unit. Number 24 is the Cincinnati Reds. I don't know why the Reds are out of the bottom 6, but they are. I think it's just how I feel about the other teams. But the Reds are just bad. 23 is the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. They kept pretty much the current team intact with a couple minor moves. They're still bad. 22 is the Colorado Rockies. We know their deal. They never sell off pieces. Chris Bryant was probably the biggest free agent bust of the winter. 21, the Texas Rangers. The Rangers round out the bottom 10. They're not that terrible, but they probably should have traded Martin Perez. Number 20 is the Miami Marlins. They're out of the bottom 10. Congratulations to the Marlins. Sandy Alcantara is going to run away with the NL Cy Young. He's that good. 19, the Arizona Diamondbacks. They've been a little better than expected this year. Number 18 is the Boston Red Sox. Arguably the American League's biggest disappointment team. They're just not as good as they were last year when they went to the ALCS. Some might argue that was fluky, now looking back. But the Red Sox, over the last decade, have been up, down, up, down, up, down. No middle ground. Number 17, the San Francisco Giants. Talk about flukes. Last year was a fluke for them. To the point where they're under 500 this year. I thought there was a chance they were going to be under 500 this year, but I just didn't have the balls to predict it. But here we are. Number 16 is the Chicago White Sox. They've been playing a little bit better. They still have a chance to somehow sneak out that AL Central. They're probably still the most talented team in that division, but they just haven't put it together this year. Number 15 is the Baltimore Orioles. How about the Orioles sneaking into the top 15 after trading Trey Mancini? They've been playing excellent other than yesterday against Pittsburgh. Brandon Hyde has to be the manager of the year if they finish over 500. Or even if they get over 77 wins. If they finish with more than 77 wins, Brandon Hyde has to be the manager of the year. Like, that's how surprisingly good the Orioles have been. 14. The Cleveland Guardians. The Guardians kind of tailed off a little bit. We'll see about them. 13 is the Minnesota Twins. They're in first right now, but this is easily the worst first-place team in the league. Number 12 is the Tampa Bay Rays. This is not the Rays of the last 2 years. A lot of injuries and whatnot are coming back to bite them this year. Number 11, the Milwaukee Brewers. The Brewers were leading that division most of the year, but they were overtaken by the Cardinals. Number 10 is the Seattle Mariners. Seattle made some decent moves at the trade deadline, obviously. They won that series at Yankee Stadium, which is great. Number 9, the San Diego Padres. The Padres made all these sexy moves at the deadline, then only to get swept by the Dodgers. Number 8, the Philadelphia Phillies. They've been playing well. They're double digits over 500. Number 7, the St. Louis Cardinals, winners of 7 straight. So they sweep the Yankees. You could argue they should be higher than this, but I feel like this is the right spot for them. Number 6 is the Toronto Blue Jays. They've been playing a lot better. They're within single-digit games of the Yankees in the American League East. Number 5, the Atlanta Braves. The Braves, Listen, the Mets are just playing really well right now. But the Braves are still really good. I'm not that worried about Atlanta. Number 4 is the New York Yankees. Boy, have they fallen in terms of best record in baseball to tied for the second best record with the Mets. And the Astros are only half game back of them. 5 straight losses. I couldn't drop them beneath Atlanta, who lost 4 out of 5 to the Mets. And they couldn't drop them that far. 4 is the lowest. I'll drop them. Unless if they go winless this upcoming week or have another losing week, then I'll drop them even further. But now they play the Mariners again, who they lost to at the stadium. But the Yankees play well in that ballpark all the time. So maybe the offense will carry over from Sunday, but the pitching will be better. Just a lot of bad luck with the Yankees. Those 4 big injuries of Michael King, Giancarlo Stanton, Luis Severino, and Anthony Rizzo have hurt them. And I feel like if they had 2 of those guys right now, they wouldn't be on a 5-game losing streak. Especially Stanton and King. But King's out for the years. That's unfortunate. 3 is the Houston Astros. A half game back of the Yankees for best record in the AL, although they lost back-to-back games. The Astros should be fine. They're really good. Number 2, the New York Mets. Good on the Mets for getting out of whatever the malaise was in the middle of the season, and people were screaming, oh, they're blowing this division of LOL Mets. Give them credit. Jacob deGrom's back, Max Scherzer's back, and the team is back. Those 2 are the most important thing for the Mets. If they're healthy in October, they can absolutely win the World Series. The Mets are really good. And number 1 is the Los Angeles Dodgers. I mean, what else is there to say? This is the best team in baseball. They've been the best team in baseball for a while now. They have the best roster in the league. They're finally playing cohesive and together. Clayton Kershaw being hurt is a big deal. They'll probably miss him, although they tend to do very well when key guys are injured for some reason. But they need Clayton Kershaw back if they want to do big things in October, as his absence last year pretty much cost them a chance to repeat. And obviously, the Dodgers, only fitting that they've won 8 straight. And let's face it, it was a tumultuous week for the Dodgers. They lost probably their most famous person that's ever been a part of the franchise, in Vince Scully. But that really has rallied that team and got them together. Vince Scully's probably looking down with a smiling face right now about his Dodgers and how well they are playing. I didn't talk about Scully's passing on the Wednesday podcast. I led with it. So, which was very emotional for me to talk about, obviously, because Vince Scully was the best to ever do it in Major League Baseball. So, that was a tough one, and the Dodgers obviously deserve the number 1 spot on my power rankings. All right, now we'll move on to news and notes. There's a couple things from the weekend that must be discussed. We talked about Vince Scully. The Dodgers honored him Friday night. As you knew, there were emotional building all weekend. Something really interesting happened after the Dodgers swept the Padres. Manny Machado said he's not at all concerned. He goes, because I'm effing Manny Machado. What? In God's name. He must have just been angry. Like, who does that? Manny Machado is not Aaron Judge. Manny Machado is not Shohei Ohtani. He's not Clayton Kershaw. He's not Max Scherzer. Like, why is he doing that? Like, that's upsetting. That's cocky talk. But those 4 guys I mentioned deserve to, say something like that, because they are the best 4 players in the game, or the 4 most important players in the game, or 4 of the most, in Kershaw, Judge, Scherzer, and Ohtani. I just used those 4 as an example. Manny Machado is nowhere as talented as those 4 players. He's still very good, but to me, he's on that next tier with Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt and people like that. There is controversy in the Blue Jays Twins game as Rocco Baldelli was mad after a play at the plate was overturned to give the Blue Jays the winning run in extra innings. I don't blame Rocco Baldelli. That really hurt the Twins on Sunday. And it always sucks to see a game get decided on a controversial call. So we talked about Nick Prado's walk-off home run in the baseball segment. On Saturday, when he hit the walk-off, it was 11 years after his walk-off won the Little League World Series. So that is a really, really neat anniversary. A Shohei Ohtani trade never came close, as the Angels never seriously considered moving him despite fielding calls. So the Blue Jays placed George Springer on the 10-day injured list, retroactive to August 5th, due to right elbow inflammation. That is a big loss for the Blue Jays. And that's somebody that they need if they really are serious about potentially catching the Yankees. Clayton Kershaw to the injured list, as we talked about, with lower back pain. And Chris Taylor's back with the team, so that's good. Mickey Moniak fractures his finger on a bunt. And he could return this season, though. Speaking of returning this season, Tyler Glasnow could pitch this year, as the Rays won't rule out the chance of Glasnow coming back after he hit 99 in some bullpen activity. Bob Melvin announces Fernando Tatis Jr. to begin rehab over the weekend, like last weekend in Double-A. So Tatis is going to be back soon. That is great news for the San Diego Padres. Over the weekend was Matt Carpenter's return to Busch Stadium. He took it all in. He was very emotional. He was fighting back tears when talking about his 5-year-old son being back in St. Louis. And obviously the fans rightfully gave him a standing ovation. Yankees minor league player Derek Dietrich suspended 50 games by the league after testing positive for banned stimulant. Yikes. I mean, I know he didn't play on the Yankees this year, but they could have used him if somebody got hurt. The Guardians DFA Franmil Reyes, 603 OPS this year after hitting 30 home runs last year. Also DFA'd Andrelton Simmons after reinstatement from the injured list from the Cubs. The Rockies had Dinelson Lamet as he was added off of waivers after the Padres traded him to Milwaukee in the Josh Hader deal. There's some talk that the Angels are afraid to trade Ohtani, as rival executives predict that Ohtani will not move next season after rumors before the deadline. And Miguel Cabrera commits to 2023 as he has no intention of retiring and finish out his contract. So that's good news for them. Some football news. Refs to target illegal contact as the league asks the refs to focus more on illegal contact fouls after a big drop in calls last season. The autopsy determined Demarius Thomas's death was because of complications from seizure disorder. That's just really sad. And Demarius was a great player. And like I said, one of the sadder deaths we've had of recency. And I think that he still could have played in the NFL. Like, he was that talented of a receiver. Kareem Hunt requests a trade as he's asked for his trade after not receiving an extension. And the team has denied his trade request. And then he skipped team drills for 2 straight days. So we'll see what happens there. More turmoil with the Browns. 49ers in no rush to trade Jimmy Garoppolo, as the team has no clear trade partner for Garoppolo and are willing to wait to cut down day for a move. That'd be just sad if they just outright released Garoppolo. Well, the problem is that nobody wants to give up assets for him when he's coming off the surgery. Giants rookie offensive lineman Marcus McKeithen carted off scrimmage with a right leg injury. So, That's just unfortunate for the rookie lineman. Breaking news coming down right now as Patrice Bergeron agrees to a 1-year, $2.5 million contract to return to the Boston Bruins. That is huge news for Boston as they got their man back. Tom Wilson was shown working on his recovery from his injury after going knee surgery. That was on his Instagram. So hopefully he's doing well with that recovery. So Sue Bird had her final home game on Sunday, and the fans were chanting, "Thank you, Sue." And it was a very emotional game, even though they lost. And then she gave out a speech and thanks the fans in Seattle after 21 years. And then obviously she gets a standing ovation during the game as well. Sabrina Ionescu makes WNBA history to be the first player to reach 500 points, 200 rebounds, and 200 assists in a single season. That is just incredible. I never would have guessed that. I would have thought somebody would have done that before, but that just shows what a great player Sabrina is. So Tobias Harris got married on Saturday, and he made a funny comment on Twitter, and he had to let everyone know that the best friend that he married is not Boban, which had everybody laughing. And then, I don't know if this was at Tobias's wedding, but Jason Tatum and Bam Adebayo were dancing to T-Pain's All I Do Is Win. And that was on Jason Tatum's Instagram. And last note, DC United to sign Christian Benteke. So that is a good signing for DC United as the All-Star break is upon us in Major League Soccer. Last but not least, my best bet of the day, brought to you by FanDuel. Best bet's just been in an awful slump lately. Hopefully, once we get into football season, we turn it around. So the pick for today is going to be, it went to 8. You know what? I'm still going to do it. I'm still going to go over in the Nats-Cubs game. I still like that number a lot. So, I'm going to go with a half unit on over 8 between the Nats and the Cubs for my best bet of the day. All right, so that's it for the show today. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything that goes on today. Look at everything tomorrow. We have some primary election stuff to take care of on the show as well. I might do some predictions with the NBA schedule tomorrow with the Christmas games and opening night and whatnot. So keep an eye out for that. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.